That's a lot of damage on Robert.
Well, she pulls a little bit of attention there. Bubba putting the Whimsy down. Good damage on Altec. Exhaust as well. Can they find the kill? Rhux loses the duel. Double kill there for Altec. Probably forced to run back. Baron is low. Picked up just barely by Broken Shard. Neither of them actually smote a bit early. Westra's in a bad spot. Broken Shard taking some damage as well. They can't find the engage. Glebe is low. Probably puts a shield on Broken Shard. Kez finds the kill though. Bishu is still waiting out for the wings. Glebe still low. Shockwave dodged. Zig's bomb's gonna get dodged away as well, but probably dangerously low. Kez picks up the kill. Altec in the front lines. Kick back the shields. Keep him alive though. It's an ace for Baron.
What a game we have right here.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the North American Challenger Series Spring Playoffs. After pulling off an excellent caster rotation, I'm now joined by my, again, another jungler, Keenan, Zyrene. You're here with me. What's up, man?
Yeah, so we've had Jat and Zyrene. So you've been with Jay-Z today.
Yeah, I got 99 problems, but a co-caster ain't one. Guys, let's move into our second semifinal series of the day. A battle between the top-seeded LMQ and Curse Academy. Now, it's no surprise to anyone that LMQ is here today. So far during this inaugural Challenger season, they've gone 14-1, averaged more than 20 kills a game, and walked away with the Challenger Spring Series 1 and Spring Series 2 titles.
Yeah, and it doesn't hurt that the team is made up of all-stars all throughout it. Top laner Ackerman played in last year's World Championships under the name Godlike for Royal Club, and NoName's jungle game has made a name for him in Challenger. And then there's their support, Moore, who had an incredible second spring series, and finally, there's the two guys who we just can't seem to shut up about during this entire spring series. It's XiaoWeiXiao and Vasilii.
Yeah, they're incredible players all throughout. Vasilii's numbers speak for themselves. Over their 15 games in the Challenger Series, he's got a 9.67 KDA. But even more impressive is the fact that when the competition got tougher, so does he. In the two finals against Complexity Black and Cloud9 Tempest, he had a KDA of 11.
Yeah, but as impressive as Vasilii's stats are, XiaoWeiXiao has been the king of the Challenger Series. Over the 15 games, he's put up a KDA of 9.82. And just like his teammate, when the pressure got more intense, LMQ's mid laner stepped up his game to match. And over their two Challenger Series sweeps, XiaoWeiXiao put up a KDA of 19.67.
It's a fairly high number right there. I don't usually get... Yeah, that's really high. I don't have no comparison for that one. It's really good. Tonight, the near Herculean task of taking out the two-time champs falls on the shoulders of Curse Academy, and carrying the bulk of that weight will be Curse's top laner Rhux and AD carry Mashme.
No, absolutely. And Mash and Rhux are the two backbones of the team right now. And Mash, formerly Don't Mash Me of Team Coast fame, had a great second spring series, putting up a KDA of almost 7.5 while leading Curse Academy to the third place series. And in that third place series, Rhux really took over. He went wild as Shyvana, and he bit off a KDA of 15 on the way to locking down a spot in the Challenger playoffs for his team. And then in the last week's playoff quarterfinal, it was Mash's turn to step up. He only died twice in their two-game sweep of VVV Gaming. And Curse will need both of those guys to step up and have huge games today if they want to take out LMQ, who's been dominating both spring series.
Yeah, absolutely. So, if Curse Academy's task wasn't hard enough, tonight they're trying to put a stop to the Chinese hype train with a new support, or kind of a repeated support, K1 Pro.
And Curse Academy signed K1 Pro as a sub at the end of the second Challenger Spring Series. While he didn't play for Curse in last week's quarterfinals, he did play for them in the end of the second Spring Series against Cloud9 Tempest.
Yeah, didn't have a great showing that game, but they've got the faith in him this time around. They brought him back into the lineup. So now let's check out who's taking to the Rift for today's semifinal series. On the blue side is LMQ, Ackerman in the top lane, NoName in the jungle, XiaoWeiXiao in mid, AD carries Vasilii, and more at support.
And ready to rumble over on the red side, we have Curse Academy. Top is Rhux, jungle is Pat, mid is Duocek, AD carry Mash, and support K1 Pro.
It's a fun thing to talk about with Curse Academy because one of their most recent pickups was Mashme on the AD carry role, and he's actually done a lot to revitalize that team. Actually, he's had a big force for this. So to talk about it, one of his former supports, Sheep. Sheep lends a lot of his success to Mashme. He says Mashme taught him how to sort of lane, how to support, and that's kind of why he's sort of on an LCS team now with XDG, that it's actually a lot of Mashme. And that, Mash being one of those heavily experienced players, right, played on what is now Team Coast for over a year. He says, he's now one of the big forces for that team, a big shot caller, a big strategic mind for them. So where Curse Academy goes, that's a lot of Mashme's doing.
Yeah, and a big thing with Mashme that is a big testament to his skill is that he's played with Sheep. Then at the first game in the second spring series, he played with Zekin as support. Then he went to K1 Pro in Game 2. Then in Game 3, he went to Kabigon, and now he's back to K1 Pro. He's gone through so many different supports and had a very consistent feel to him. He's a good solo queue player.
Yeah.
He's good with whatever support he gets
all the time. It's the way of the Wild West right here with these guys. It seems you just get them rotated all the time, find the ones that work for them. So Curse Academy, of course, with a big task in front of them. I know, even with the roster swaps, I know they got a new mid laner as well. Duocek coming in for only Jacksmith back in the day. Their old AD carry Fabi, if you guys remember him, the gatekeeper of Challenger. Of course, Match come in to replace that. Really, the big mainstays ended up being Pat and Rhux, who haven't actually changed very much. And I gotta say, they've done really well. We talked about Rhux a little bit, but I feel like Rhux is like a super understated or underappreciated top laner. I think he's been very dominant overall, extremely strong player. Been with Curse Academy for a long, long, long time. Put up good numbers.
And he might be the person that they need, because up in the top lane, out of all the people on LMQ, remember when Dyrus was saying when he goes up against Ackerman, he doesn't feel his pressure.
Yeah.
Like back at Worlds, he's like, it wasn't like getting bullied in lane so hard. So that might be the weak spot there, and Rhux might be able to crack the armor.
I think it's one place we can really look for Curse Academy if they can pull off the upset. Evelyn and Ziggs so far banned away from Curse Academy. The Lucian removed from Vasilii. We'll see if he falls back to the Qi-Lin there. The Kazakhs removed from NoName. But so far, XiaoWeiXiao has not pulled any bans. He can play whatever he wants.
Nidalee still open. We still have a lot on the field. And this sets up a situation where if LMQ, since they have first pick, if they don't pick Caitlyn, it's going to go over to Curse Academy.
Most likely,
And then you'll be like, all right, do we pick a Sivir at that point and try to make a composition around that? Or do we fall back on something new like Twitch?
And then even at that point, you've got to look like a 2-on-1. Sivir Kate is not an easy matchup overall. You know, we heard Wei-Jun talking about a little bit ago on the desk, talking about Sivir falling off a little bit after some of the lane dominance nerfs. See what happens. Renekton actually removed from Rhux, removing some of that top lane power. And it's weird when the bans come through that aren't one-sided bans. Ackerman loves to play Renekton himself, but to say, you know what, let's not make top lane a bully fest, we'll play something else with this.
What also says they aren't going to first pick their top laner, and they want to put Rhux on something else.
Yeah.
So they could actually pick their Shyvana first if they want to. There, yep, absolutely. The Caitlyn locked in immediately. Pretty much a tell there once you ban Lucian out and you aren't going to ban Caitlyn. So now Curse Academy, do they play Sivir? Mashme is very good on Sivir, he's very good on Vayne. He has a very diverse champion pool. You can fall back on those. But we're going to have to see what they do from there. Because you can go Stampede comp, you can go ahead and do a Protect the Vayne, whatever you're going to do here. But they do put a lot of emphasis on Vasilei's performance, so the Caitlyn is no surprise.
Yeah, I want to see if Corki comes back in. It used to be like the new AD carry.
That's true too.
Resurgence is like the AD carry that people are now playing a lot more. Some of them rush for it, some of them, they're okay if like Lucian gets grabbed, whatever. We'll see.
Great thing about Corki is the diversity in his build is all in his boots. It's like, are we going to go Zerker's Greaves this game? We're going to go for some Sork shoes? Seen Merc Treads too.
yeah, and it's a defensive option in case you're really afraid of it. But of course, a lot of good champions went Curse Academy's way. They got the Soraka pickup here, likely for Duocek. Xin Zhao jungle as well, with only 2 jungle bans. It's X to the Z.
And then, of course, NoName is hovering over the Lee Sin because that's what he needs to counter that. Go ahead and pick that up. And we actually had a conversation upstairs about how you counter Soraka. The mid lane Soraka, what do you do against that? And remember we were talking and you were saying like maybe Orianna is the counter to that.
Orianna's a good match against Soraka. Well, the Orianna got banned and they first rotation Soraka. Exactly. And you talk about Caitlyn being pinched was going to be a likely grab first rotation. And it's always smart the teams, and I want to talk about this for a second. People talk about blue side getting a first pick, but the way you play it from red side is to create 3 high priority champions, give blue side 1, take the other 2, and you're seeing, right, Xin Zhao, Soraka, high priority contested picks, very strong in this patch, and say, okay, Caitlyn, but we get these.
Yeah, and basically just play it from champ select.
Yeah.
That's what you have to do during champ select. You have to say, this is what we're banning so that we can get this. If they get this, you have a lot of contingencies. Exactly. They pick Caitlyn. What do we do? Immediately, Soraka, Xin Zhao. Then they just basically plan these out way ahead of time based on tier list, but also what you're playing against.
Yes, absolutely. So the next pick's coming through. Of course, we talked about the Lee Sin. I want to see if it does end up being a flex pick. We're seeing more and more Lee Sin tops do varied success. Some do well, some do poorly. The Thresh, of course, as a support here for more, is going to be happy with that one. The Lulu also grabbed plus the Graves, so a very supportive lineup with a tanky AD carry for Mashme.
There's a lot of support here on him. I'm a little surprised he didn't go for the Vayne. We're going to have to see how he does on the Graves, just even more durability for himself.
It's a lot of lane dominance.
Yeah, and that could be a Lulu mid, it could be a Soraka mid. I think it's going to be Soraka.
It's the most likely situation, but actually Soraka Graves is a really good lane as well because you have so much pushing power, you guarantee your opponent's another turret.
Yeah, but Soraka in the mid, you're just going to shove that in immediately with Star Call.
Of course.
And Lulu did take some nerfs to her kit in terms of help picks and
More help picks.
Exactly, more help picks on both sides of it, I guess. It doesn't have a second name.
Less helpful picks.
Yes, there you go.
Now less help. Hurt picks actually would be, I guess, be the aggressive
hurt
version.
them picks.
Yeah. That does not sound like a thing Lulu would say.
Well, it's helping you, though.
Yeah, true.
Help me hurt them.
Show them. Let me glitter lance off of you. It's going to be the way it goes. Actually, it is going to be top lane Lee Sin because Elise gets grabbed, but with few mid lane bans, Nidalee's still the champion here for XiaoWeiXiao. It's going to be a fun one, but now the hover on Curse Academy, they will get Rise against top lane Lee Sin.
That's a very good matchup for Rise. The early game aggression is in Lee Sin's favor, about levels 1 through 3, but then when Rise starts getting his full combo in the lower cooldowns, just keeps cycling through his spells. The Rune Prison, you probably max that second. You usually max your E if you want to clear the waves.
Okay.
But he's probably going to max Rune Prison just to lock him out.
Yeah.
Make sure that when he dives in, he can't get away and safeguard fast enough.
Makes sense. And actually talking about skill orders, I feel like this is a kind of matchup where you would pretty heavily consider maxing Safeguard first on Lee Sin. From what I've understood, skill orders on Lee Sin for top lane are actually very matchup dependent. If you have to play Sustain where you can max W, you have to actually play a push where you can max E. And I want to see if he's going for a shield and sustain or like fast wave clear and getting out. And seeing the way he plays the top lane, teleport Lee Sin. Of course, teleport Rise also here. It is going to be the mid lane Soraka as well, so you did identify that one right. Lulu support, the second time we're seeing it today, actually.
Yeah, Bubba Dub playing that earlier, and probably going to go back to that a lot. Spell Thieves works pretty well on her, too. She has some early game poke with help picks. Her auto attacks are great. Her lane pressure is good. The thing with this composition from Curse Academy, very late game oriented. You have Soraka, you have a Lulu support, you have a Graves who's kind of meh in the
middle
late
of the road.
Game. He's middle. Xin Zhao has some early game aggression, but then you have Rise in the top lane. So very durable here. Rise, he just gets tanky and consistent damage. Soraka, consistent damage, going to shred armor, so Rise does more damage on top of that. Then you have the Lulu, who's going to be probably getting a little bit of AP, just a tiny bit, maybe one item in the late game. Not going to be as fast with that whimsy on everybody as much as a mid lane, but then you jump it over to LMQ, this composition that they have. XiaoWeiXiao is back on his Nidalee, which is something we haven't seen in a little while.
Yeah.
He was playing that all throughout the time that they were qualifying and climbing up the ladder. It was like Nidalee, Nunu jungle, and then have Lucian on Vasilii.
Yeah, exactly.
So all those culling bullets coming out. But he's back on that, back on the poke champion, so they know this composition inside and out. We're going to have to see that Lee Sin top. That's the wild card here. How is that going to match up against Rhux?
I think that's actually a super important matchup. The other one I want to talk about actually is how do you get in on Nidalee? That's always a question when you have Nidalee mid. Can you get in on that comp? The only hard engage Curse Academy really has is a whimsied Xin Zhao, but you're still going through like maybe Caitlyn traps, javelins, cocoons, the kickback from Lee Sin. There's actually a lot of ways to disengage and keep the poke safe here for LMQ. I want to see how that matchup actually pans out. Fake pause. Resume. We're good.
It was just like resume in 5 immediately.
Yep. They're testing to make sure it worked. It's about sending a message.
Yeah. The message was 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I was in fear.
Oh. Got us
Still
this
afraid.
time.
Got us this
Got
time.
us this time.
Message received, guys. Don't worry. We'll talk more about things like Nidalee.
That's what they wanted. Who are we to keep them from it?
That's fine. It's okay.
So
we'll talk about League of Legends.
Yeah. And you were just talking about the Nidalee matchup there. And
now I've got you saying it.
Nidalee. Yeah. I was going to be like, if he's going to say it, I might as well conform for right now. Because then everybody's like, Nidalee, 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 Nidalee. And they're like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm slowly caving, by the way.
Oh, you are? Okay, Nidalee. It's Nidalee.
I'm saying Nidalee more and more. I'm about to like revoke it, but I mean, the canon is still Nidalee. I'm just saying. It's the canon prescription here. So, by the way, the pause, for what it's worth, wasn't about sending a message necessarily. XiaoWeiXiao is having a bit of a computer issue.
That might be the message, though.
Yeah. Blue screen, not the message you want to receive, though, in the tournament match. But don't worry, fix up the computer, whether with a replacement or just kind of restarting it. But won't be too long. We're going to be okay with this one. So
no, me. AD carry.
Yeah.
That's what you play, so I want your insight on this. Caitlyn versus Graves.
Yeah.
They consciously picked the Graves much later.
True.
What do you think they're going for here?
So the cool thing is, basically, Graves, I think, is pretty good against Thresh because Thresh is basically within your reach at all times. His attack range is actually even lower. Hooks, you can usually play around fishing for hooks. It's not too bad. Basically, Graves, plus Lulu especially, is a good push sort of composition. So the way that you would actually, I'm going to use an example, actually.
Go ahead.
The way you would survive a Sivir versus Caitlyn lane was get there first, use Ricochet, shove the wave out. Now, in the, I think it was 4.4 nerfs to Sivir where Ricochet cost 50% more mana, you would run out of steam really quickly. You'd yourself trying to shove, and that kind of fell off. You actually had a much harder time fighting like a Lucian or a Caitlyn who could shove back at you because you'd run out of mana trying to push. Graves doesn't have quite the same issue. I feel like it's a little bit easier for him to shove. Like, yeah, Buckshot still costs like a fair bit of mana, but Lulu Graves in general can keep the push going, can keep the pressure off from Caitlyn. So the way you survive the matchup is pushing. You can also 2-on-1. Graves is a good 2-on-1. He's got an attack speed buff in his kit. It's all pretty effective for him. So that's all there, kind of generally speaking. He's got AoE as well. It works out all right. The cool thing as well is because of the rune changes and because you can you have the passive and whatnot, and because you've got a Lulu there to shield, most of Caitlyn's damage is pretty well telegraphed, and it's pretty easy to shield up the harass. Not a really big problem. The shielding didn't get nerfed from Lulu in the 4.5 patch, so you can withstand the harass, keep your armor up. As long as you're in combat, which includes dealing damage, Graves will have a bunch of bonus armor, not get pushed around. Generally, it's going to be okay.
Yeah, and collateral damage did get a little bit of a tweak, correct?
Yeah. So the level 6 and 11 value, so rank 16 is the same. Basically, Graves' ulti, it has an impact damage and then an AoE damage. The AoE damage after the initial impact was lower. That number went up a bit at rank 6 and 11, more so at 6. So his early to mid-game teamfight AoE got much stronger.
Which is what he excelled at anyway.
Exactly.
So just making him and perpetuating that.
And if you can get away with like health per level seals, he's so much tankier endgame as well that he kind of holds on as an anti-assassin.
And everybody just... Oh, blind hook!
They find Duocek good damage. Their Cocoon flash forced, actually. It's going to be -1 cooldown for Curse Academy.
And the Sonic Wave landed on him, so he was scared of that, possibly trying to drag him deeper into the team if he had taken it, but not waiting for that opportunity.
Well, you know, NoName learned...
Oh, they come back around!
That. Wow, good damage.
Ackerman so low!
Takes a Summoner Heal, stays alive. Ignite now onto Rhux. He's got to run away as Rise. Flash in from NoName. Javelin gonna hit Summoner Heal, keeps Mash alive. There we go.
Drags him back.
Dive on in more. 2 auto attacks from the kill. No, the Star Call coming through. Pat will go down. First Blood coming through. Mash be forced to flash away as well. That is a kill for LMQ.
And Duocek was not in that fight for the beginning of it at all. His heal is very useful later on, but his Star Calls, he wasn't doing the damage the entire time and amplifying his own team's damage. And just a good catch there by LMQ because he was backing at that point. We're going to see it here. See the Q go in, just a lot of damage comes out. Ackerman barely gets out by the Summoner's heal, gets the extra movement speed. The Javelin comes through, hits Rhux right as he gets healed, and then the hook onto Pat. And now Rhux has more right on top of him. Yep. They go for Pat instead because he's right in range. Yeah, well, Rhux, actually the second Summoner Heal came in late. The other Summoner Heal actually went down onto Rhux. The other guy couldn't quite land the heal onto Pat to save him. There was a missed Summoner Heal at the very end right there. But also, keep in mind, NoName actually started E. He started Cocoon in that game to make those ganks happen. So a much slower jungle start. NoName requires a bit of help from Ackerman, which is happening, to be fair. They're buddy systeming in the jungle. Oh yeah, they're actually taking some inspiration here from Complexity Black. Sharing the EXP, because they're going for that 2v1. No, but actually it's a 2-on-2. So that's actually even better, because now when Pat comes around, it's going to be 2 on him right here. Oh, there's 2 in that bush! Oh my gosh, that was a bit risky. Pat's got nowhere to go. That's going to be a kill picked up, and the blue buff going over to NoName, refreshed right here. That is also not a good start. A red buff onto Ackerman as well. So that Lee Sin's going to have a good time, but up against Rhux, going to have to see how that goes. Both flashes down in the bottom lane. Teleport still available, so he's going to use it to get down there right away. 200-second cooldown. Yeah. But that was really good. The buddy system not only splits the experience and gets your jungler and your top laner in a good spot, both at level 2, it also means that if something like that happens in the invasion, boom, there you are. 2 people on 1. Huge disadvantage for a jungler who has no combat stats with a Hunter's Machete. Yeah, so rarely do you see that you get to invade against the enemy's dual lane and pay off. But hey, if Lee Sin's there, it's going to work out. So Ackerman, you know, he's down 9 minions, but you know, who really cares right there? Teleports in the lane, gets the extra rejuvenation bead, and he's equal in experience because he just got a bunch of jungle camps. Yeah, and it's not a good matchup for him on the overall. Ryze is extremely potent against melee champions, especially ones that all in like that. But Pat, he's coming around here. They don't see him. He dodges all the wards. No buffs on him. Slow lands. No summoner spells at all for the dual lane. Bit of damage coming through. Rhux not in a good spot on the wrong side of the tracks. Ackerman picks up the kill thanks to NoName's gank. And the vision here for Curse Academy is just not cutting it. It's all central around that river and not really on the fringes where they need it in the lanes. But there's no gank coming through. Like, Pat's Gunshine doesn't even try for that one, of course, this time around. Looks like the duo lane just not even putting the pressure through right now. Duocek versus XiaoWeiXiao, though. Bit of press coming through, 26-23 and minions. Damage through onto Mashby. He's got to try to dodge the hook. Will not get flayed. That's enough to keep him safe. And jumping back down to the gank that happened bottom, so you didn't see it. A lot of it was because He just wrapped around. There's no flash available for Rhux, and he was pushed up because Ackerman got to lane so late, and he was trying to get the pressure.
NoName about to find some damage through. Does not land the cocoon though. That was a bit wide.
Javelin!
Oh!
Takes him down. XiaoWeiXiao making it 4-0.
It's just LMQ right from the get-go.
Yeah.
Pressure, invade, keep going. Lane swap it, get down there, NoName, go ahead and get that gank onto Rhux. Mid lane, NoName shows up again, helps XiaoWeiXiao. And people typically say that Nidalee, it's true, doesn't have a lot of gank follow-up. All you have is spears, long-range spears. You have to hope that you throw them the right way, hope that you know the path the person's going to take. But otherwise, she has no CC. She has no way of locking somebody up. And that's her only damaging ability, 1 through 5.
Yeah. It's working out for him, though. Lands it. Makes it all happen. Skill shots hitting enough for these guys. Vasilii and more actually winning this top lane quite successfully, actually. The Graves pick actually not quite paying off now for Curse Academy. You're seeing 14, 13 minions in the lead right here. NoName once again looking to slink into this bottom lane. Ackerman is killing off some mobs for now. But just, yeah, so at this point now, a little bit slower minion leads. NoName looks forward, lands a repel. Just going to push Rhux away, though. Rise not having the best start.
And Ackerman's pretty close to level 6. Like, he'll get it in about a wave and a half. Like, he'll actually get it in a wave if he just sits around there. And then he'll probably go all in on Rhux again. But more, he's checking, but Pat's here.
Pat's trying once again for the engage. Does not land the E until the move block comes through, but just can't find the damage. Pat's shown up top lane 3 times, only even tried to gank once, and when that came through, took nothing.
He had no follow-up from Mashme and Mashme and K1 Pro. Because they're just so far back being pushed in the entire time. NoName, looking for more, just the aggression here from this Elise very early on.
Yeah.
Moby Boots
Exactly.
is his first buy. He's looking to get around the map and cause pressure non-stop.
Yeah, so not the structures for the damage, just trying to make the ganks happen to get his lanes ahead. That's always kind of been the NoName style. I feel like he's not the kind of player, I'm going to eat my words in the game too, but not the kind of guy to play a Feral Flare jungler, just the way he plays the game. He's a Moby Boots type of player.
If we saw a Feral Flare on Elise, I don't know what I would do.
I just mean watch him pick Yi next game, but generally speaking, he plays supportive. He never went Hydra when that was the rage on
He's played some Kha'Zix.
Yeah, but that was always I guess it's the build that you use now.
Yeah.
But it was still like a tanky sort of Kha'Zix build. It was about.
He's a facilitator of his team.
He is.
There we go.
Facilitator.
So his Kha'Zix, when he's using Kha'Zix, he's usually there to slow people and let his team follow up and get the kills. Because we look at a KDA from him in comparison to people like XiaoWeiXiao and Vasilii, who get most of the kills. And if they don't, then they at least tack on an assist. Because he's always there, always helping out.
Yeah.
Good guy, NoName.
Seems to be a good guy, NoName.
Doesn't care about making a name for himself.
Nope. Clearly not.
Oh. Nope, that's...
Mashme Flay gonna hit nicely. Good damage from Vasilii. Slowed a little bit there by K1 Pro. Good burst comes back. You can see the potential of Lulu Graves right there. Put some very serious damage back, but...
And NoName, he's making his way up top, and they know that Pat's on this bottom side because it's blue timer, and here he comes.
K1, nice flash, gonna dodge the cocoon. Hook's gonna land, though. K1's got nowhere to go. NoName picks up the kill. I think they wanted to take it for Vasilii, but with the exhaust on, he doesn't go for it.
And the amount of pressure that they've been pushing top lane, that's why there's no wards in that river at all. Not even in that tri-bush. Pro and Mash have just been on that turret trying to farm and keep up. And you look at Mash, he's about to get ganked, and he's down 20 CS.
Wow, the wish comes through for Duocek just in case, though. But yeah, his life is so rough here in this lane. More and Vasilii honestly playing amazingly. Duocek with the blue buff. Does spot XiaoWeiXiao, not going to stop him, though. Just puts more defensive wards down, trying to keep himself in a decent spot. But that is top lane turret going down in the 2v2 lane. 8 minutes, 20 seconds in. LMQ up 3,000 gold here. We'll see if Curse Academy can outscale, but they've got a while to go if they are.
Rhux is just chunking Ackerman, despite having the Lich Bane early on. The damage from Rise just from building mana is a little crazy. 625 range on your overload.
It's enough to scare people. You're gonna
Even
see.
when he just takes a step forward from here, he'll be in range.
Yep.
Just
Next level, we'll see if Rhux, if he maxes the E or the W second. Right now, the skill order for Lee Sin is 3 and Q, actually.
Yanking down bottom with the solo.
The play's going to land. Big shot right there. Kicks him backwards. Rhux going to go down. Vasilii grabs the kill credit. The rotation for Dragon also gets them a kill.
Went up top, got the turret, and now they're going straight for the Dragon. That's how you do it. You swap it back, make sure you have the map control.
It's going to work really well for them. Ackerman's just going to recall quickly, knowing that no one's going to stop him. Wants to pick up the early Hexdrinker, actually, as the buy. Maybe he goes for Tiamat later, but Hexdrinker will give him the dueling power at the very least. 102, 60 minions here. Catalyst for Rhux. He's got a ways to go until Rod of Ages completes. But Pickaxe is going to come in, so that might be Mod, that might be T-Map for Ackerman.
And the pressure that NoName has been creating on the map, typically we see Soraka's just shove the lane in so hard. And Nidalee really lacks wave clear until level 6, and even then it's melee wave clear. So the amount of pressure that NoName has created just from being on the map and running around with Moby Boots is perfect for this composition.
Yeah.
Because people are like, oh wow, why isn't Duocek just destroying XiaoWeiXiao because he's Soraka? Well, the pressure, at least, is all over this map. And he's been ganked once. And he got a kill for it. Got the flash too.
Completely making it work there. Duocek puts the damage down, but he's down a level on XiaoWeiXiao right here. He literally having a great time at this one. A bit of a lane swap actually, LMQ, after taking the top lane turret, say, you know, Ackerman, you show up there. We're going to have Vasilii and more keep the pressure on and try to get more for ourselves.
Oh!
Damage, K1 Pro by himself. Slowed down, turns him into a chipmunk. Gonna be okay.
He left him.
It's okay. Didn't cost him anything, to be fair.
Yeah, that's true. And they want to try to just buy items, go back to that lane. And they are going to do the 2v1 right now in both of these lanes. They don't want to have Mashmi going up against Caitlyn once again.
And it's interesting how actually early game focused LMQ is right here, because Vasilii actually cashed in on an early pickaxe, even though he's still likely to go for Bloodthirster. Back with 900 gold, just bought the 25 AD and said, you know, I'll complete items later. I just want to dominate my lane with 25 attack damage. You're seeing Mashmi has 1,000 in his pockets, could buy that same pickaxe. Yeah. Doesn't do it, wants to get the BT done.
And I want to give props to LMQ here too, because the loss that we saw with them against Team 8 was because they weren't early game focused at all. This game, you were talking about it, very hyper early game.
Yeah.
NoName is making his presence known.
Oh, there we go. Bottom turret's going to go down. Vasilii making that one happen. Gets a bunch of the gold on this.
Ooh, Ackerman.
Rotation.
They want Ackerman really badly.
Can he make the rotation happen? Goes over to the right. Spotted by a ward. Trying to get over the wall. Slowed down. Flashes. Looks like that man's going to be safe. Just burns a summoner spell for some time. He's got to wait 5 minutes for that one to come back up. But
well, there's 3 men strong. And they're doing 3-1-1 right now. And they leave Caitlyn in the bottom lane to just continue to push. And Vasilii's going to clear out the Wraith, or the White. Possibly just keep pressuring and keeping his CS up, because they just put up amazing numbers in LMQ.
Vasilii easily going to kill away the white camp right there. Rhux going to wait around, but NoName takes a lantern. Cocoon's going to get dodged, but he actually flashes into it anyway. That is not good. Down goes Rhux. That flash a little bit early. Dodged it.
Caught it.
But caught it.
Couldn't resist, just right into his eyes.
Oh, man. Blinded him, stunned him up, down he went. 1 second stun, all that NoName needed. But the top lane siege is going to work. Pat, Mashmi, and K1 Pro do take their first turret of the game. But Curse Academy down 5,000 gold right now. Things aren't looking better.
And now LMQ going to be rewarded with another turret because of that rotation. They left Rhux by himself with that 3-1-1 push. And now they're trying to get their own tier 2 down bottom, but Ackerman's here.
I guess the knockup slows down the damage output, actually. Getting rid of some of these minions. He's showing no fear, actually. Doesn't have a lick of armor and does not care.
And his leveling order, he's going 4 in Q, 2 in W, 2 in E. And look at that. Flash into it.
Yeah, that's the only reason he died.
Eats it.
He wanted to flash a potential play, but forgot about the fact that he was dodging the cocoon. Very unfortunate there. He could have flashed left, it would have been enough for him, but unfortunate death there. Uncle Sam Rise 030. Forget what he's actually called. It's not his official name.
Uncle Rise?
Uncle Rise, probably the actual name.
Yeah. He's trying to put the fear of America in LMQ. It's not working.
Yeah, LMQ showing no fear. Uh-oh. Okay, heals himself. Straga's going to be okay. Tries again with the recall. Still in range of Qs, though.
NoName going after Rhux here, but it's a 1-on-1. Oh, 2-on-1. Here's the TP. There's
no flash. Rune Prison, some good damage comes in, but Rhux has really nowhere to go. Gets the wish, though. Trying to run back. NoName repels, goes back in, picks it up. Ackerman with the kill credit for this one. 8-0 now. LMQ doing amazing.
Because they knew he didn't have his flash because they saw him use it to get into the last cocoon. So why not TP onto him, pick him up, and just this constant pressure. 8-0 for LMQ. Doing work right now. And now the siege begins. Caitlyn Nidalee with a Thresh hook. A lot of pressure, a lot of siege potential.
See what these guys can do. A little bit of 8-week comes out from the Kate. Siege is going to begin. Vasilii not going to get hit with a smoke bomb too hard, but the hook lands. Mashmi not a good spot. The knockup though from Lulu keeps the team safe. More getting engaged upon. Big damage from Pat. The box comes in. Keeps himself safe, but that was a pretty nice engage on both sides.
Yeah, it's a 4-on-3. Numbers advantage in favor of Curse Academy, but they're using it very, very well. Get the flash out of more and the box. There's very deadly, good reactions there by K1 Pro.
Yeah. I want to point out that Mash is actually back at full health because of all the healing that Duocek put out. I think that was Wish and Summoner heal and the targeted heal. Right back to full HP.
Maybe his own too.
Yeah, I think he burned his own Summoner heal as well. That was a lot of cooldowns burned, but it still means the mid lane turret, with all those cooldowns down, they maybe can't win the fight anymore. Curse Academy is sweeping away some wards, but they have lost control of this map. They have wards defensive in their territory. They can see some of the rotations, but they've not been able to fight for much.
So with this 6k gold advantage here that LMQ created for themselves and the amount of map pressure that they've made, you can see that now it's the time to just push up, take the dragon every time it's up, and continue your assault. Use your siege composition, have your split push, possibly with your TP on your Lee Sin. Dominate their jungle and just go for it, because that's what it's really looking like. They're going to be able to close this game out if things keep going the way they are.
Yeah.
Very, very soon. And Curse Academy, on the other hand, their strategy is very, very late game focused. If LMQ beat them to it, because look at this rise, 0-4-0,
Yeah.
94 CS, very, very low. It's going to take them a long time to get back in this game.
Yeah, still not even completing the Rod of Ages just yet. Maybe looking at 16 minutes or later for that one. Tier, of course, is at least stacking. NoName will claim this dragon. Smite was already used, doesn't need it for the last hit, just clears it by himself. Gets the conservation stacks moving, does go towards the Haunting guys. Didn't go Sword Shoes, but still wants some magic with the build. Standard core for release. Nice Javelin, hits Duocek. Honestly, it's working so well for LMQ. Another one on the Rhux, honestly.
Half of his HP, more than half.
Yeah, they are not respecting the Javelins nearly enough. Forced well far to the side.
There's just too much standard gold here, like in terms of quota, for XiaoWeiXiao. And the fact that Curse Academy have been put behind by NoName's ganks means that he can pull this off this early on.
Rhux nearly fell over for that one. Inhibitor turret now opened up 16 minutes in. We're going to see the push down the mid lane. The recall coming in from Mashmi trying to defend this one. The 5v5 soon to ensue, but the mid lane inhibitor turret already going to fall down. LMQ moving on towards the inhibitor itself. Cocoon not quite going to land. NoName looks for a bit of harass, finds K1 for a bit. Half HP turret. Wow. Nashmi taking a Javelin down to half HP. With no turret there, LMQ will actually stay. They want to keep the siege going.
They just want to clear the wave, wait for this one. There's cannon minion in this, so it's going to have a little bit more HP. Good smite there. Get rid of it.
Yeah. Very wise choice, but right here it's going to be this turret. Why do I keep saying turret inhibitor?
Oh,
not a bad
Rhux
spot.
is caught.
Rhux about to go down. The heal's not going to be enough. Vasilii in the backline is getting hit up by Pat, but it might not be enough. AoE comes out from Graves. Team still alive. Down goes Duocek. 2 for 0 so far. K1 also going to drop. Ackerman trades his life for it. First kill on the board, 11-1, but 17 minutes in, they're going to take the mid lane inhibitor.
About the same time that you would finish a Feral Flare.
Yeah.
That's how fast that inhibitor was. 11-1 in the overall, 10k gold already. They have 150% of the gold that Curse Academy has.
That is a very, very significant lead right now. LMQ just going to clear away the waves rather quickly. Gold in each individual member, usually sitting around 2,000 per person until they went to go back and shop. Haunted guys plus more. Void Staff was ready for XiaoWeiXiao when he wants it. Honestly, very, very big game for LMQ.
And XiaoWeiXiao, he's really loved this Nidalee because it goes into the playstyle of LMQ and just kind of a throwback to when they qualified.
Yeah.
And I really like that pick by him. Look, it's just devastating.
Yeah.
The fact that he got going that early on.
Yeah.
And it's not even like he's fed. It's that everybody else is below the standard line because of NoName and the roaming that was happening all over the map and the great rotations.
Yeah, so little gold for Curse Academy there. Below the 10 minions per minute mark, 1 turret, 1 champion kill. You're seeing like 7,000 to 8,000 gold versus 5,000 gold. Gigantic margins right there where the core items just aren't done yet for Curse Academy. LMQ getting all their combines in, only Vasilii waiting ground to complete items.
7,000 to 4,100 in the top.
Yeah.
Rhux, 0-5. He's not been having a good game. They've just been shut down from the very beginning when his flash was blown.
He said he was going to be an important member, but waiting to late game is not going to probably happen here for Curse Academy. 18:45 in, Ackerman looks for the play. Flash by Duocek keeps him in a decent spot. Q comes out,
the
flash just kicks him back. Duocek puts the silence down late. The knockup in for Lulu might keep him alive for a bit longer. Star Calls coming through. Will he have enough healing to come back? Actually, they find the kill onto more Star Calls, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. Ackerman still around, does get taken out. 2-for-1 fight so far. Curse Academy might find their way in. Stun's not going to be much for NoName. Another kill comes through. 3-for-1 fight.
That's such a greedy play by LMQ. They trade 3 for 1. They didn't have Vasilii or XiaoWeiXiao there at all. They show up at the very, very end just to throw a single spear. Not involved in that team fight. And they chose to fight it too. There's a very deep extension by Ackerman to use his flash and try to Dragon's Rage him into more.
Yeah, and Pat with a smite right there manages to take away his own red buff as well. But LMQ, they still feel like the confident team. 2 guys alive, they're still counter jungling. Taking away golems, trying to take the lizard buff. They know Curse Academy have so much more room to go. They almost 8,000 gold deficit right here. Gonna be the wave clear still coming in. Duocek still waiting for his items to really come through. But just sitting on a Fiend versus nearly a death cap.
And because they have super minions pushing down the mid lane, this top turret, it's just a matter of time before it falls over. They're trying to collapse onto it. And look at the damage that XiaoWeiXiao does every time he lands a spear.
Yeah.
Just...
We need an Aegis. Curse Academy needs an Aegis pretty badly.
The new Aegis too.
Yeah.
Right. 40 magic resistance for the person who has it,
yeah.
20 for everybody else.
Yeah, I mean, there is some fairly major physical damage coming through with Hex Drinker, Tiamat, Lee Sin, but even still, the Javelins are the ones really setting you down right now. The push comes through, XiaoWeiXiao helping to zone out the enemy team. He's going to be taking this one 12-4 in kills. LMQ, now look for inhibitor number 2 in the top lane with Ackerman splitting in the bottom.
And see, he has his TP available to him, so he can always just jump into the fight. And I'm pretty sure at this point, he can take Rhux in a one-on-one.
Going to be a likely situation. We're going to see Rod of Ages combined, but that's it. The limit of items there. Banshee's Veil also soon to be picked up here for Ackerman, so he's very much itemizing against his lane opponent that he keeps opting into. We'll see if Mashmi and Pack keep the farm going, of course. Now, with Xin Zhao stuck inside his own base, he's getting nothing out of Frigol's Lantern.
Still hasn't had the Pharaoh Flare, 21 minutes in, he's just been getting counter jungled and shut down. And LMQ are really playing against that item, too. Once you gain control of the jungle, don't let it up. Don't let him farm.
We're going to see Red Inhibitor has respawned in the mid lane right here. Complete denial for LMQ. You're seeing now Curse Academy forced to share all the minion pickups. See what they can donate it to right there. Of course, none of the jungle is going to go for them. Lantern over the wall. Good amount of Qi-Lin traps as well from Vasilii. A few bushwhacks also from Nid, and it's going to be the inhibitor turret number 2 going down in the top lane. They're going to push forward. Now the inhibitor under fire. We'll see if we get much of an engage. The jump forward by Pat, not going to find much. K1
Oop.
now way too far forward. Early Wish comes out. An ulti pop for almost nothing with this one. See Curse Academy still being pushed around. Rhux takes a Q. Javelins are being dodged well by Curse Academy, but LMQ, last time they just stayed and waited and found the engage again. Rhux in the wings. Will he find the engage? Duocek in the front lines. The Rune Prison goes off. NoName takes a bit of damage. There's a hook. It lands on a Duocek. Not good. Down she goes. Soraka has fallen. Pat also in a bad spot. 2 kills picked up. Ackerman claims that with the ulti. Now 3 on 5. Javelin's gonna land. Nice shot there by XiaoWeiXiao. Another inhibitor's gonna fall. They can rotate back for the mid lane. Take that one down as well. Looks like LMQ in complete control right now.
And they have a little bit of a minion wave here too. If they want to, they can try and make a push for the Nexus.
Looks like they're going to be able to do this one 2 turret stand, but they've got 10 seconds of 5 versus 2. The hook lands onto Rhux. The dive comes through. Rhux does fall over. Mashmi 1-0-1, the only guy left alive, but the turrets are falling too fast. There goes number 1. There goes number 2, but Curse Academy are respawning. Can they push them back? The turret actually not quite going down. Vasilii finally finds it. Good damage comes through. The siege not over. They'll fight this battle even with lower health bars. Nexus down to half HP, stun onto Pat. They land the hook. They're still trying. Curse Academy desperately trying to get them out of their base to save this game for now, but 1 shot to go. Vasilii is going to close it out, and game 1 goes to LMQ in 23 minutes.
It was so quick, especially comparison to the last game we had. It was about 54 minutes long. LMQ, from the very beginning, that invade, the 2 kills they pick up for themselves. Just keep snowballing. It was 11-1 at one point, ends at 16-4.
Yeah.
Just dominating the jungle. Once they get those outer turrets, they transition that into just more and more gold, and they never let up.
Yeah, in complete control the entire game with this one, honestly. You saw, and you called it out actually, their earlier style. Let's get the early game aggression going on, make the plays. The first blood early on, of course, helps with that one, but let's play the siege composition. Ackerman will go split push. They banned Lee Sin, or sorry, they banned Renekton, let him play Lee Sin. They won his matchup thanks to the no-name gangs, but the Caitlyn, the Nidalee, the Elise in there, the Thresh in there, just playing the siege, knocking down minions, knocking down champions, and knocking down turrets time and again.
Yeah, and the priority that they put on Caitlyn as a first pick, after seeing the Lucian banned, was really good by LMQ, because that set them up for that 2-on-1, where they ended up going 2-on-2, and having Caitlyn versus Graves, and just completely shoves that in. No vision control from Lulu at all, which allowed NoName to just roam around the jungle, go mid, go top, create as much havoc as possible. He actually started bottom, then he went mid, then he went top.
Yeah.
Just in that order, and they just pushed out those outer turrets, got tier 2 bottom, then they just went mid. Great fights by them too. The little mechanical skills that they have, and the poking by XiaoWeiXiao was a huge linchpin in that poke strategy.
Yeah, ultimately, I think those guys played absolutely phenomenally. We actually have a replay of just one of the many great plays made by LMQ here. This one.
Going straight for it. And this is where they collapsed onto Rhux. And we see Ackerman lands the Q and the hook. And NoName was actually off on the side too. Kicks him into it and picks him up. This was after the rotation down when they had gotten the top tier 1 turret. Said, let's go down bottom. Then we're going to have NoName and all of us transition to get the dragon. And that was a big influx of gold for them because it was a kill, a turret, and a dragon in their favor.
Yeah, and I like how much of that is actually backed off of great mechanical plays as well, the individual skill there. One thing I want to point out from Moore there is once he landed the hook, he walked backwards because you pull the champion to you, wherever you end up being as Thresh. So walk so you could pull him in, let the Lee Sin kick go sideways. But like small mechanical things, just like drag the guy in farther, things like that. Always good to see. So LMQ, of course, takes game 1. We're going to have to take a quick break. But when we come back, Cloud9's jungler Meteos will be joining us to talk about this little challenger match. Up next, game 2 between Curse Academy and LMQ. Don't go anywhere.